The history of the library in America is all about a Benjamin. Benjamin Franklin founded America's first library in 1731, called the Library Company of Philadelphia, as a place to access information.
At that time, books were scarce, expensive, and out of reach for most of the population. But for a small fee and with pooled resources, everyone could access paper books, maps, and pamphlets from around the world at the Library Company. Libraries remain a major hub for people to access information and general knowledge, just as Ben Franklin envisioned. I used to love a library for studying because I would get so distracted in other places, when I was in school, and you have to focus in the library because you can't talk.
I used to like the books with the seal on it.
Oh,
I think it was called a Caldecott medal. So those were supposed to be the good books.
Did you read them?
I did.
Okay,
I
good.
did.
You
They
didn't
were the good books.
Okay.
They had nice pictures too.
That's nice.
But modern libraries have evolved, offering not only books, but also audiovisual materials, digital resources, and internet access for masses. Reporter Deborah Alfarone explores the next chapter for the American Library.
Libraries are central to our communities. They are really the beating heart of our cities.
From go-go concerts to toddler time, arts and crafts, and ESL classes, libraries today are about way more than a good read.
It used to be it was all about books, but people have various ways that they can access information, and that fact has liberated us to be more creative.
Richard Reyes-Gabelin is the executive director of DC Public Libraries.
Tell me about the role that this library plays in this community.
We've got services for literally every age and stage of life. We've got author talks, we've got exhibitions. People are running their businesses out of the library. People can bring in old photos or old videotapes and transfer them to cloud-based technology. People who are struggling with homelessness, they'll come in here for a warm place to sit, some dignity, and some human interactions.
Another thing that strikes me is it's free.
Absolutely. I mean, that's central to the mission of libraries, free and open access to information and services. Tell us what you're struggling with and how we can help.
Odds are programs like these, hardware tool lending, podcast studios, and help with taxes are at your local library too. Brooks Rainwater is the president and CEO of the Urban Libraries Council. They support more than 170 public libraries across the U.S. and Canada to bring about positive change.
Libraries are reflections of their communities and want to make sure that they have available what the community wants and needs.
Rainwater says libraries don't just bring together communities, they should represent their communities.
Libraries have been leaders on equity and inclusion, first and foremost through the curation of their collections, making sure that the books within libraries really reflect community members, whether that be from a race and equity standpoint or whether that is thinking about LGBTQIA plus issues. They also are advocates within the community to make sure that you're able to educate the broader community. So digital equity has long been a key concern of public libraries.
Getting people connected at home, for us, is almost like getting people books in their homes. Our goal is to get people into our buildings, serve them from home, and just be a part of their lives every single day.
I always tell people when you think about indoor public space in any given city, it's libraries. There are not a lot of other indoor public space. And we're also willing to invest in nice designed public space within our libraries. And that's incredibly important because it gives people from all walks of life that access to those spaces, those places where people can come together.
The Library of Congress is the largest library in the world with more than 167 million items on approximately 838 miles of bookshelves, which would span the distance from the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. to Cape Canaveral, Florida.